What is going on, beautiful people of the world? My name is Garrett Wolf, and I am the host of the #1 podcast for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs. I've built my body over the last 8 years, and in the last 3 years, I've helped hundreds of online clients shred unwanted fat and embody the best version of themselves. Now, let's jump right into today's show.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Alpha Movement Podcast. This is the #1 show for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, all without giving up the most enjoyable aspects of their life. During that intro, I was trying to find the best camera angle here, because if you guys couldn't tell, I'm currently in my car doing another car podcast for you guys right outside of the gym. The gym is right over there, and I just wanted to do a really quick podcast about discipline, because I am 4 days out and I just took 2.5 scoops of pre-workout and I had 2 Rice Krispies and a rice cake, right? So a little bit of carbs before the gym, some pre-workout carbs, because that's just kind of the way I like to do it. I don't really I like, fast digesting carbohydrates. Fast digesting starchy carbohydrates. Sorry, my brain is all over the place. And right before a workout, because they give me like quick, fast energy, I don't really have too many carbs with my breakfast, at least on this prep, because I like to have mostly protein right in the morning because it's the most satiating macronutrient. And so that's what I kind of have. I have like 100 grams of protein pretty much, and that's it. Nothing really else for breakfast. If you guys want to know what that breakfast is, I can definitely make a video on that. But in any case, I just had my pre-workout carbs. I had 2.5 scoops of pre-workout, and I am ready to take a nap right now. Frankly, I'm ready to go to sleep. I could recline this chair right now. It doesn't have to be comfortable or anything like that. I can recline this seat, and I could take a nap right here in this parking lot off 2.5 scoops of pre, almost 400 milligrams of caffeine, 2 Rice Krispie treats, and a rice cake. And I didn't want to do this podcast at all. At all, guys, frankly. I didn't want to do it at all. I'm 4 days out. I have negative energy levels. I'm eating 1,500 calories a day. I'm walking 30,000 steps a day, which is about 15 miles, if you didn't know. I'm drinking 2 gallons of water a day, and I am chronically exhausted right now. I'm chronically exhausted, and keeping that in mind and understanding that I am chronically exhausted and chronically fatigued, I need to understand that my mindset will not correlate, or my mindset will not coincide with my goals any longer, because my body is under an immense amount of stress. And keeping that in mind, I know for sure every day when I wake up that I'm not going to want to do anything, right? I wake up in the morning and I want to go back to sleep and forget about everything. Right? I want to wake up, go back to sleep, forget about everything. I don't want to do anything. And I know that for a fact. And keeping that in mind is the very thing that allows me to override my bodily functions, to override my mind saying, yo, dude, we're chronically exhausted. We need to chill. We need to rest. We don't need to do any of these extra things. We don't need to expend all this energy. We need to save energy because we are dying, we are starving, and we are going into a famine. I know that that's what my body believes. That's what my body thinks. And so the fact that I know that allows me to override that function and go about my life in accordance with how I know I want to live, right? With how I know I would want to live if I was feeling motivated, or if I was feeling like normal, right? Or feeling good, right? Normal, good, whatever you want to call it. During these times of intense adversity, it's important to keep in mind the person that you want to become, because if you can remember the person you are trying to become, then all you need to do is plan out the action steps necessary, and you have to take action on those steps. For example, I want to build a big brand, the Garrett Wolf brand, right? The Alpha Movement brand. And I know that to build that brand, I should do a podcast every single day, right? Because there's not a lot of people in the fitness industry that are doing podcasts every single day. There's not a whole lot of podcasts about fitness itself. I mean, there are many pieces of information about fitness. There's not many that are exactly like the Alpha Movement podcast, and there's certainly not any that are producing episodes every single day like I am. And so I know that if I want to climb the ranks of the fitness industry, if you will, then I need to do a podcast every single day, or at least I should do a podcast every single day. Not that I need to, but I should, if I want to expedite the process of becoming and building a brand. And so, despite the fact that I'm chronically fatigued, despite the fact that I'm incredibly tired, and despite the fact that I'm off 400 milligrams of caffeine, 2 rice cakes, and a Rice Krispie treat, it's actually the other way around, 2 Rice Krispie treats and a rice cake, and I could take a nap right now because of my chronic exhaustion, I'm still hopping on the podcast to tell you guys about discipline and to tell you guys about how you're not always going to feel motivated to take action on your goals. You're not always going to feel motivated to go to the gym. Even me being a bodybuilder, a men's physique competitor stepping on stage in 4 days, I don't want to be at the gym at all right now, man. I would rather go home, take a nap, watch the new House of Dragons episode, and just fucking chill. Maybe smoke a little bit of weed and relax. But I can't do that, can I? I can't do that, can I? Unless I want to step on stage looking like ass. Unless I want to step on stage looking not as good as I could have. And the thing about me is that the pain associated with stepping on stage and knowing that I didn't give it my all hurts a lot more than the pleasure of going home, getting high, and watching House of Dragons. You see what I'm trying to say? So you need to associate more pleasure, or you need to associate more pain, more pain with not achieving the outcome than there is pleasure with achieving the outcome, right? Because despite the fact that stepping on stage is going to feel incredibly good, despite the fact stepping on stage is one of my dreams, despite the fact that stepping on stage is something I've wanted to do my entire life, despite the fact stepping on stage is incredibly cool, it's incredibly awesome, it builds credibility, it does all these good things. All those good things are not enough to motivate me to want to go to the gym, to motivate me to want to get 30,000 steps a day, to motivate me to have to walk 15 miles a day, to motivate me to drink 2 gallons of water a day, to motivate me to track my body weight every day, to motivate me to take progress pictures every day, to motivate me to practice posing every single day. The pleasure associated with stepping on stage is not enough to get me to do all those things. However, the pain associated with not giving it my all, the pain associated with stepping on stage and knowing after the fact that I did not try my best is the very thing that is giving me enough motivation to get up out of bed, to go to the gym, to walk my 30,000 steps, to walk my 15 miles, to get my water in, my 2 gallons every single day, to take my progress pictures, and to practice posing. So you have to figure out what drives you. What drives me is the fear of regret. Because just the fact that I'm stepping on stage, just the fact that I'm competing is not actually enough to motivate me. But what does motivate me is the pain associated with stepping on stage and the regret after the fact of knowing that I could have done a little bit more, right? And that's not to say that I've been 100% perfect on this prep, because I have not. But I have tried. I have given it my best effort. I could have tried harder. I could have given it a little more effort despite my lack of experience. This is my very first show. I could have done better, but I did try hard. I did try. You could call it my best, even though I think my best is better, but I'm always going to think that. That's just the champion's mindset, is that my best could always be better, because I wasn't perfect. I did, however, try my best. I gave it my best shot. I did everything that I could within my power that I knew how to do. I did everything that I knew how to do. And even if I came up short here a little bit, even if I came up short there a little bit, even if everything wasn't 100% perfect, it's my first attempt, my first ever show. And I know that this being my first show, the pain associated with the regret after the fact is the thing that's going to motivate me harder than the pleasure associated with just stepping on stage in and of itself. And so all that just to tell you guys that I'm 4 days out. I'm I'm so tired. I've never experienced this type of overwhelm or chronic fatigue, right? It's like I could drink 10 Monsters and nothing would happen to me. It's insane, right? It's ridiculous. I'm chronically starving my body. I'm eating 1,500 calories a day. I'm working out like a absolute mad lad. I'm walking, again, 15 miles a day, drinking all kinds of water off of 1,500 calories a day. You can imagine how chronically fatiguing that is. And despite the fact that every fiber in my body wants to quit, despite the fact that I don't want to go to the gym at all, despite the fact that I don't want to get steps all day at all, do you guys understand how long it takes to walk 15 miles? It takes about 6 to 7 hours every single day of straight walking nonstop. That's basically all day. It's basically all day of walking, 6 to 7 hours to get 15 miles. which is about 30,000 steps. And it wasn't like that the whole prep, right? It started off at about 11,000, then we creeped up to 15, then we creeped up to 20, then now we're at 30 just for peak week because we're trying to dial in my physique. I'm 152 pounds as of this morning, so I'm going to hit probably a new peak week low, or excuse me, a new prep low. I'll probably hit tomorrow, hoping to weigh in at about 151, hoping to step on stage at 149 pounds. I want to get down to 149. That would be insane. And so I'm really pushing it. And again, guys, I mean, my coach didn't prescribe 30,000 steps. He prescribed me 22,000. I'm doing 30,000 because I want to see 149 pounds on the scale. I'm doing 30,000 because I like to go above and beyond. I'm doing 30,000 because I wasn't perfect on those other days of prep. I'm doing 30,000 because I cheated on my diet a couple weeks ago. I'm doing 30,000 steps because I want to go above and beyond. I want to do more than what's reasonably expected of me so that I can come in at, my best at this is what I can do. 22,000 is great, but 30,000 is what I know I can do. I know I can do more, despite the fact that I'm not motivated, despite the fact that 22,000 steps is already absurd, despite the fact that trying to get 30,000 steps every single day takes 6 hours a day, and I don't really have that kind of time. I get it in anyway. And that's just the kind of person that I am. And I think that that's the kind of person that it takes to be successful at whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Whether it comes to a fitness goal, whether it comes to academia, whether it comes to graduating university, studying for your field, getting better at your job, whatever it is. It's about the relentless pursuit of exceptionalism, the relentless pursuit of trying to be greater than what you think you can be. And that's just what I'm doing. That's what it takes every single day. And I'm 4 days out and I'm incredibly excited. So I'm going to ask you, is there anything in your life that you might be able to look at and think, every fiber optic in my body or every optic fiber in my body does not want to do this. However, I know that it is something that needs to be done because it is in accordance with the person I know I need to become. And so I'm going to do it anyway. Where in your life can you apply that kind of mindset? And where in your life can you apply this kind of discipline so that you can become the person that you know you need to become? All right, guys, that brings us to the end of today's podcast. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to smash this workout the best I can. And I might even record a video, a peak week video, so that I can look back on it in the future. I'm still very sick, by the way. That's another thing I forgot to mention. Sick as fuck on peak week. Still doing everything. Sickness, give a fuck. Doing everything anyway. I was out for about 3 days. I did miss some things because I was sick as fuck. And that's another reason that I'm doing 30,000 steps instead of 22 is because for 2 or 3 days, like last week, I couldn't hit my steps or my workouts. I actually missed them for 2 or 3 days. I forget. It was either 2 or 3 days. I think it was 3 days. I forget. But in any case, that's why I'm going above and beyond. And I'm still sick. I feel the remnants, but I'm doing it anyway. And so that's pretty much it. That's all. It's about discipline, guys, not motivation. Sometimes we're motivated. Other times we have to be disciplined. And in any case, you have to take the action steps that you know necessary to become the person you want to become. And that's just the end of the story. That's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. I didn't say this at the beginning, but if you did get some value out of today's podcast, please screenshot my face. Share it to Instagram stories, tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I will reshare it to my story and send you a free gift. Other than that, guys, it has been your boy Garrett Wolf, and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace, guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hopefully you got some value. If you did get value and you want to learn a little bit more about how you can go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, just head over to my Instagram at _Garrett Wolf. DM me the word six-pack and I'll reach out to you and see if I can help. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace.